Noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. Do you know where I might find Azo? I think I've seen him around today. Have you checked the laboratory? He shares a wall with his office. He's been spending most of his time there lately. Have any of the patients been acting unusually? Well, there's Batixa, who relieves a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idelman, who they say only has half a soul and who was found collecting the faces of others because he believed his own to be a false one. Graham, he speaks in a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from the normal behaviors, I mean. Well, yes, I suppose. But nothing they didn't volunteer for. Master Azo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. I'm glad some of them have chosen to get help. It seemed to me it's gotten quieter over there since it started. It's grim. I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he always was a bit of a wild one. What do you know about this Animancer Azo? Oh, I like him very much. Many Animancers could care less about their patients. Look at us like vermin for their experiments, but Master Azo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. It's too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What happened to Azo? Rayo's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. They don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. Accident, yeah. He was said to be one of the brightest in Drywood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash. Even if he was a bit of a showman, he loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work. Suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? A proxy, I think he called it. Had some machine that drew energy out of the very ether, can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. God knows that's something we need. Do you know what they call those empty little babies under a gift? No, tell me. They call them buyoi, something, I don't fucking know. Buyois. Because many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Master Azo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day, he was locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. I don't know exactly what happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad they're letting him treat people again. Would I be able to visit the North Ward? They like to keep them separated. I don't know that I've ever seen the guards allow a visitor, just Master Azo. You might ask him, he's very sympathetic. Why are you in here? Behind her hair, her cheeks flush. I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. When you blush, it brings out the colors of your eyes. You can tell me I'm going crazy too. Let's pick that one, even though it's kind of fucked up. You shouldn't tease. No one in here can help what they are. I know, I tried. The last few years haven't been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the same war. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. I may do. What else can I do? I moved into a tiny place in Ondra's gift, got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving, and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. Then one day, this noble woman comes in, wants this fancy ground fixed. Gorgeous thing, this shade of blue, I've never seen before. Only I had. I looked at it, and it reminded me of something. I had what they called an awakening. I remembered being a noblewoman myself, in another life. People dotting over me, men dotting over me, the best food, the most beautiful home. All the things you'd never dare to dream of, they were mine. It was poison knowing that. All those things I had that I've never have in this life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls in my little room seemed to close in around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. It was that or break into an estate and start ordering servants around. It seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it. And I start to wonder, did the gods chose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Maybe the gods took offense to your overindulgence. Maybe they did. I wish I had known back when I was a noble. Maybe I'd have done things differently.
Hey.
Alright, we're looking for the guy.
Laying low.
Whatever his name was. This looks like a... Oh wait, it's already... Oh yeah, he said here there's like a connection between the two. There he is.
I'll give it a try. Request, at least.
What we have here? Raven Wing. A one-handed mace. Accuracy when attacking the same target as an ally. Plus 25% damage when attacking the same target as an ally. Crush damage. I mean, it's probably better than this thing. I mean, this is a flay and this is a mace, so obviously different type of weapon, but... I feel like having 20% of damage restored as endurance on a fast weapon that does low damage, kind of nothing, right? Like 20% of 12 is like 2 HP, man. Like 1 HP. So yeah, not really hitting much. This thing is way better. In that way. But I mean, I'm using the whispers of Yenwood anyway. Holy shit, that scared me. my Discord, by the way. Get you baited. Quickly catching up on Discord. Okay. Let's continue.
Of course.
Tyckte also. ASO, whatever. Catman. That's clear what it says, right? I'm a catman. I love cats. A round face, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward, slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he
What is
scrolls.
the meaning of this?
I like access to the Northward. Out of the question, those patients are in isolation for a reason. I've been given permission to conduct my investigation down here. You best cooperate.
My answer is no. Whatever you're looking for, those patients will not be able to help you. The head warden will stand by me on this.
I heard you were demoted. How did it happen? That's not of your concern. Did one of the other put you up to this? Adumer? That smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything. I don't know how. I never know. He spits on the floor, as if to remove a bitter taste from his mouth. Ethelmore told me you are not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, Ethelmore hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved to an inanimated object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If animancers all followed the commands of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willfully ignorant as Ritkarus. We would know nothing about life or death or even ourselves. We would be lost in the dark without no clue as to why. Our leaders guide us, and without them we risk losing our way. If this man would strike off on his own, then let him fend for himself, without the benefit of the sanitarium. I have no interest in arguing about this.
Like so many who stand idly by while a nation slowly collapses into the dust. Apathy and ignorance are the true curse that dooms the Deerwood. Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Have you tried your experiments on any other subjects? I have, yes. No point in lying about it. Now that Ethelmore is involved, I asked for volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to break through. They understood that. They understood their sacrifice would mean something.
Those are private. You have no right. Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
Puts a heavy key from one of his pockets and slams to the door before heading to you. Easy.
Hey.
He gave
I
me the
can
key.
do that. As requested.
Oh, nice. Light armor. Plus 50 defense for stun, stun duration, knockdown duration, defense for prone. 25. Dude, I kinda wanna give that to my barbar, man. Like, maybe this is a little bit. To be fair, it's only a 10% difference though, right? But it's a whole 3 DR difference. And the freeze goes all the way up to 11. And slash as well. The slash freeze combo kinda big. I think this one is just too good. You got 25. This one is 25. That's a good upgrade though. And to be fair, everything is the same. Except this has the stun duration stuff, so yeah, sure, might as well give it to her.
Hey. Nice and quiet.
Been hearing screams at night.
What's this?
You know, some drugs, dude? Dude, these fast constructs are kinda spooky, dude. I wouldn't trust them. Okay, I have access now to this key. To this room, I mean. Let's check this area first. There's a guard here. Keep your distance. Oh, there's like some special case in that cell? Okay. Needs a private guard, that's how dangerous that thing is. Dunry Road. Pretty sure the woman told me everything about it already. The War of Black Trees and Rise of... I think I looted this book before.
Hey.
Alright. Let's see. Time to get to the super crazy part. These people are beyond mental apparently. But they're also getting probably deleted by experiments, so... Is this my face? Tell me. This is not my face. Thundering sky, rain of blood, innocent must be drowned. The flames must be fed to watch them rise. A nice guy. Oh, there's Graham. Alright, let me take one last sip of my water. I think after this part it's time to go to bed. Leave on a little cliffhanger, you know? Keep it exciting. XD. Because I know exactly what's gonna happen. Get fucked. This man has the look in his eyes of a haunted animal, and as you approach, he staggers backward to the far corner of his cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the wall if it would get him farther away from you. He cries out a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you have heard. I like how you can instantly accuse him. I need to ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed there are words at all. I don't think he can speak anymore, not in words at least. This is monstrous. There are things I need to know from you. I'm going to learn them whether or not you can speak. Oh, we're going into his soul. He looks at you with uncertainty, slowly, tentatively steps closer to the front of his cell. As he does so, for the first time you can perceive his soul within your keen. It is misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barrier of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Glam's soul. Fuck it, let's do it. What could possibly go wrong? You project out toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You are in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointy nose reminds you of a rat. He beacons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else in your mind is a single word, and the word is no, but it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall. Cornered, you cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle. Its meager flame casts long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribe the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He's in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knot and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats, and you are screaming a scream you can barely hear. Continue searching. Another night, heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door. The flesh giant, the artificial being, just outside, but facing left, facing the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away and leaves. Glam looks at you, still wide-eyed, but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. A look into the soul of a half-crazed patient named Graham revealed strange behavior by a boy at the far end of the North Ward. Alright, it's time.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
What were you expecting? I've seen the sick and the mad exiled, or as treated like contagious vermin, but I cannot believe that this is the kindest alternative. But if all were treated like this, the Centarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such conditions? There are just as many who come here and are cured of their ills, people who would otherwise be cast aside. Here's the source of all that knowledge you were so giddy about. Let's get moving. Say that.
Hey.
Urzgrim. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, wackish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind the glassy doll-like eyes. In this state, the barrier between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Reach out for his soul. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul. And as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering, straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunged into some interminable abyss of thoughts and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell in the Centarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward door, the door opens. Dude, I can't read anymore. Revealing a flash golem silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time. The misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you are dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem shell and overtake the soul implemented within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel. You are strong again. You step heavy-footed down the corridors, unheeded by the other constructs and scrutinized only by the very untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers, and the preserve implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tired seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl, but his body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous. Unlike the others, this one has no soul of its own. The man speaks and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm's worth of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and he pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bed of sweat rolls down the side of this man's brow. But the crowd apprehensions quickly give way as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of a copper wiring that runs to a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when he reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically from time to time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back upon at the crowd. "Behold," he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Surely you take a plodding step forward, then another and another. You look up at the man, give him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment, at the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hand outreached, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in Animancy now? You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expensive with tall devices, encasing and other monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is no mistaking now. That is the soul of Taux, X Acaronon, the man you have been searching for. gazes out of that borrowed mask. A watcher. Brian is crazy. Not just a watcher, someone who will break those frail little legs of yours if you do not do it. Exactly what I tell you. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant. And it seems for that moment that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, and then seems to think better of what he has. I was about to say, his jaw tightens. I know your look, your hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backwards with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Interesting.
Following your lead.
Hey.
All right. And with that, it's time to say goodbye, because we've been playing this for nearly 13 hours. And I want to go to bed before it gets bright outside. But, you know, progress, dude. Progress. Progress has been made. I don't know exactly when we're gonna continue this. Can't say for sure. But who knows, maybe tomorrow too. See how it goes. It all depends. But I guess latest would be either Sunday or Monday. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your days. Day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time zone. I'll be back next time.